Yes, welcome. Come on in. In fact, you are the first agency up, so we are ready to get started if you are.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah? All right, well, come on and have a seat. So I'm Courtney. I am the chairperson for the Jack Hopkins Social Services Grant Funding Committee this year.
Nice to meet you.
Everybody want to do a quick introduction? Hi, I'm Cameron. Also on the panel for this year.
I'm Andy. I'm the
Great.
council representative.
And I'm Dave, council.
Eddie Ryu, community representative.
And joining us via Zoom is our other committee member.
Hello, my name is Catherine Piamlon.
Hello.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you.
So we looked over the application and we
Mm-hmm.
did just have a couple quick questions. Were you emailed those questions? Okay, so you are prepared.
Yes.
Did you want us to run through those questions for you, or did you have something prepared that you wanted to just start right off with? Or
I had something prepared to that included those questions,
Okay.
but if we want to start with those questions and then move on to other things, we can as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you prepared something.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and we'll let you get started with what you prepared, and then if we have any follow-up questions, we've got 15 minutes. So
Okay. Sounds
the window
great.
is all yours.
Um,
Go right ahead.
And then, can you hear me all right over Zoom? Okay. Sounds great. Well, to introduce myself, my name is Andrew Hodges. I am a member of Bloomington Cooperative Living. I've lived there since June, and I'm the secretary of the organization. I moved to Bloomington about 4 years ago and graduated in December. I just now live in town, but I also work at Pantry 279. And so, yeah, it's been a really amazing part of my life. It's part of the reason why I'm staying in Bloomington. My rent is affordable, and there's a social community I can take part in because BCL exists. To introduce Bloomington Cooperative Living, we are a housing co-op. If you don't know what that is, that means that we are a nonprofit fair housing provider that is governed and operated by the tenants or members who live there. So we keep our rent cheap by managing our own properties. And we live communally, which means that we have social community. We make or cook together, we spend time together. It's a nice way to live. We have 5 houses in total. 3 of those are owned, 2 of those are rented. That makes up 75 units across those 5 houses. We're looking at acquiring another property over the summer, which we're hoping to renovate within the next year. That'll add 10 units on for the 2027 to 2028 lease year. BCL was founded 2 decades ago in 2007 by some college students. They wanted to live communally with one another. They figured that out. They figured out how to expand, get another house, how to buy some properties, how to get insurance, and keep on moving. So yeah, today I am going to propose or request $8,500 for digital outreach for BCL. This would be for the 2027 to 2028 membershiping season or lease year, and so this would be spending this money in March to May of 2027 to recruit members for the 2027 to 2028 lease year. Currently, how outreach has worked at BCL is mainly through word of mouth, tabling, flyers, which has worked well for us thus far. BCL slowly expanded, slowly grew, and also recruited new members to replace older members. And so this has worked well for us thus far, but we would like to improve our outreach and get to best practices. We are a fair housing provider, and we want not only the low-income people that I know or the low-income people that other BCL members know, but all low-income people in Monroe County and Bloomington to know that cooperative housing is an option for them, that it is affordable, that they can live with other people socially, and that it can be dignified. Living in a cooperative housing, it provides people who rent the ability to control their housing just as people who own. So it really gives people an opportunity to live in a way with autonomy that they wouldn't be able to otherwise. And so as part of that request, we're requesting $2,000 for a website redesign. We currently have a website. It's functional, but we believe it could be a lot better. We would like it to be more accessible, more visually pleasing, and more functional so that if we did have digital ads, the place that people land is, it works for them. We are then requesting $3,500 for social media ads during the 2027 membershiping season. So again, from March to May of 2027. This would be Meta and Google ads, and they would run for residents of Monroe County. We are then requesting $3,000 for social media ad management. These estimates came from a worker cooperative called Comp.coop. Comp.coop would do the website design, and then they referred us to another co-op called Cody that would do the social media ad management and that would do the ad spend. Worker co-ops are just businesses that are owned by the workers who work there, so it's software developers who own their own company. We chose them because they align with our values, and because we are a housing cooperative, they are a worker cooperative, they gave us a discount. We believe that having the social media ad management as part of the grant is really important. We do have a team, which I'll get into later, who does outreach for BCL, and they would be able to manage the social media ads if we did not get the funding for the social media ad management. But a big part of this proposal is increasing BCL's internal capacity. How BCL works is that our members' own labor creates our capacity to do outreach, to develop, to expand, to maintain the organization. And so we are requesting funding for ad management so as not to sequester our current outreach labor, essentially. We would like to still be able to do flyering and tabling and all of that good stuff. To highlight the need in our community, as I'm sure you're aware, affordable housing is the most important issue in our community. According to the 2025 to 2029 consolidated plan, Bloomington needs 7,000 more affordable housing units for those between 0 to 50% AMI, and Bloomington Cooperative Living and co-op housing is a small but growing solution to this issue. We are really one of the only people in town who are creating permanently deeply affordable housing in our community. BCL never plans to sell our properties. We are not exposed to market pressure. I don't have to worry about the housing market if I continue to live in BCL. It's really an innovative solution to our issues, and we want more people to be aware that this is a solution and to take part in it. To discuss who would be implementing this project, it would be our membershiping team. We have one BCL member who is our membership coordinator. They lead the team, and then every house has a membershipper who handles outreach, who reviews applications, leads interviews for members to join, and then signs the leases. And so that membershiping team would either manage the social media ad management or would manage the ads themselves if we did not get the funding. This is a one-time ad spend, but this does have many lasting impacts in our community and for BCL itself. As this is our first time doing digital ads, this would be a great help to help us just learn how to do this, how to make it effective. And this would decrease our vacancy rates, which thus increases our rental revenue, which could lead us to not have to rely on grant funding in the future. And then if we receive the social media ad management, this could free up internal labor to develop further, to acquire new properties, and to expand affordable housing in Bloomington. Another big part of this is that we are trying to inform the public more about just what cooperative housing is in general. We are collaborative. We collaborate with Avalon Community Land Trust, and we are supporting other independent co-op projects that are trying to start up. So this is not about BCL. This is about expanding the affordable housing stock more generally. And if we inform low-income residents that co-op housing is an option and they choose to go with another organization, that's amazing. And so that's another big part of this. The main ways that we are hoping to make our impact is through a few things. It is through reducing vacancy rates, though I would like to highlight, I think after discussing with some of the other board members, I don't want us to present ourselves as having an issue with vacancy. It's more just that, as I'm sure you are all aware, Bloomington is a revolving door. People move in and out. So it's always a battle every spring in order to recruit new members and to keep our rooms filled. We do keep our rooms filled, but it is an issue. And then there's also the issue of when people break leases, rooms remain vacant, and this isn't the best use of our space. And so we would like to keep the vacancy rate to the minimum. Connected to that, we would like to establish a wait list. We know that there's enough demand in Bloomington for affordable housing that we should absolutely have a wait list. So that would help us minimize vacancy rates. And then for how to measure the impact of the digital ads themselves, we would measure these through three main statistics. The first being reach, so we could just report how many unique individuals saw our ads, and then add clicks, so how many of those individuals then got to our website, and then from there, how many people applied from our ads. That's all I have. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. That was very informative. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for? Oh, go ahead.
You go first.
Yeah, I just had a question. You said you'd like to see a wait list, or
Mhm.
to see, and the part of the idea of your grant is to bring more people to
Mhm.
you. Just say you had a list. Is it just chronological? How would you decide? How would you determine the selection of candidates if you had more applicants than space?
I think I would have to discuss with the other board members, as we are a collaborative organization, but I would imagine it would be chronological. That's how most other co-ops that I've seen do it. I don't think that it's a good idea for us to get into weighing different aspects of people's lives against each other. Again, we're a fair housing provider, and so I don't think that there's any specific piece of information about someone that would make us prioritize them. Yeah.
So I was going to ask a similar question. So you don't have a tenant selection process. It's if you're eligible, and then it goes chronological. Is what you're saying?
I would say yes, we do. I don't know if this was understood, but we do have like a selection process for people who can live in BCL. You have to apply and then do an interview to make sure that you would be a good fit for the people that you live with. But people could be on the wait list before interviewing. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I had a timeline question that might just be more like logistic, because I know that you mentioned reimbursements happening in 2027 for a portion of what you're budgeting for. Do we have to have everything, all reimbursements submitted by the end of the year? But is that something we have flexibility on?
That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure I got an extension until the end of March
Oh, you
one
were-
year, but not past March.
Okay, I was gonna say, I do think it is supposed to be the end of the year, but an extension, that's good to know that that was a,
Years ago.
happened once,
Scout,
once upon a
Scout
time.
got an extension this past year
Okay.
because contracting for the siding took longer than what we wanted. Plus government shutdowns and things like that. So
And so it's as simple as like just needing to reach back out and
there's a process.
Okay.
There's a process, but I'm someone else did it for me, so I'm not sure.
The only other question I had was, I just had curiosity about some of the outreach that you've done on the ground that isn't digital, and kind of like, it feels like the shift to digital is kind of a big one, so kind of understanding that more too, would love to.
Let me think. I would say flyering is one of the major things. It's just on campus and coffee shops, all that. And I do think that word of mouth is very strong amongst BCL. We're all very civically involved people because we live in a little democracy. And so we send it out in all the group chats, and normally that gets us a good amount of members. And then I think beyond that, there has been tabling in the past, but I think that that's been weaker in the past couple of years. But I know that the board members who are leading membership right now would really like to reinvigorate that. Yeah.
My question is about the website. I wanted to know how much of the funding that you're looking towards revamping your website. And then my other question is about once you have the website revamped, how will you maintain it after, if you're given the funding?
It was $2,000 for a website redesign, and we do have BCL members who I think are familiar with website maintenance, and so we've been able to maintain our website up to this point, and I don't believe we plan on having as many functions as to have pretty intensive maintenance. To be honest, we already are able to take applications, contact with people, and so there's not much beyond that. Yeah.
So pretty basic. It's really looking for that big like overhaul, and then you can keep it going once you kind of get that done. Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
So when the city gives, say, a tax abatement or some kind of economic development incentive to a firm, to a business, it matters to some folks in the community and some in city government, some policymakers, that those hired, or at least there'll be an effort demonstrated that those hired would be from Bloomington rather than brought in from other places. That makes a big difference to some of us. And so I'm kind of wondering the same thing. I mean, is it an effort that is not focused at an existing local area population? Is there any, I mean, you told Eddie a minute ago that there's really no criteria, right, once you apply, and that also goes for your history of residency. There's no.
I'm sorry, what is the question?
The question is, is there any effort to serve the locals first? The existing local residents, rather than someone who might read about this because you're talking about the internet, right? They read about this in a remote location somewhere else. That says, well, I'm going to come to Bloomington and take advantage of this and do this.
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking.
say no. We are I think a big part of why BCL is helpful is because we help retain young people. And so IU brings young people here, but we retain them because people have community and it's affordable. And so we don't have anything that specifically prioritizes current Bloomington residents, but I think that's one of our strong points, is that I think that this community has a really hard time retaining young people, and this will keep them here.
Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
You good?
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Was there
Thank you for replying.
something about the people that we hire that you
No.
discussed?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was 15 minutes. I want to make sure that we're giving everybody 15 minutes and not going over out of fairness. So I think we got everything answered. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Very well prepared.
Oh, I thought you were grabbing his water bottle. I was like,
It's going to cost you a water bottle.
All right.
I'm gonna be reaching out in the
Sounds good, thank you.
Next up, we have Tandem Community Birth Center and Postpartum House. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. All right. Did you just want us to jump right in with the questions? How are you feeling?
I have a prepared thing.
Cool. All right.
And so if it's okay, I'll read that, and I apologize, I'm going to stare at my phone to read it, but that's just
That's understandable.
how I'm going to process it. And then I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. So my name is Julie Duhan, and I'm the Executive Director of Tandem, and I want to share a quote from one of our recent postpartum house clients. She said, "This place is a lifesaver. In past postpartum periods, the first few days were so difficult. Having a good, restful foundation has helped me have a chance at longer-term, better mental health. Knowing I have a quiet and peaceful place I can go is worth more than gold. Tandem helps me bond and actually enjoy my baby." So Tandem is a thriving resource hub for families in our community. With our diaper program alone, we served over 900 unique children from more than 600 unique families last year. In our 6 years of existence, we have diligently been working to create a sustainable framework for our programs. This has included contracting with area employers, including Monroe County Government, SCAP, and Wonder Lab, to provide doula services to their employees, and leveraging sliding scales for services for our self-pay clients, so that when clients can afford to pay, we're able to use that revenue to help cover the costs of providing services to those who can't. We are fortunate to receive substantial grant funding and to run several successful fundraisers each year. Unfortunately, most quote-unquote overhead costs are not covered by these grants, and we use every dollar raised to run services that do not generate revenue. Some of the essential things we do at Tandem that generate $0 in revenue include providing free community space for families to drop by Monday through Saturday. This space is heavily used by the community, with hundreds of drop-in visits per month. We provide free car seat safety checks, and when needed, free car seats, access to free clothes and supplies, free transportation for families, deliveries of free cribs and high chairs, strollers, and more. Again and again, the families we serve tell us that our services and our work is life-saving. Our doula services generate enough revenue to almost cover the costs of our doula staff. Our perinatal educational programs are self-sustaining through course fees, but do not contribute to the cost of our building rent or utilities. Our postpartum house launched in August 2025 and is serving clients in desperate need, but it needs time to build its client population before it can generate revenue at a scale that is able to offset rent and administrative costs. We do believe that it will build to that eventually, but it takes time. We nearly ran out of money in 2025 and contemplated bankruptcy. But through aggressive fundraising alongside reducing open hours and trimming every conceivable cost, we didn't buy print toner for months, we made it through. Money to pay rent and admin salaries is still often determined day by day and week by week. We know we're making a substantial impact in our community and in the lives of families whose children will benefit from Tandem's work for their entire lives. Sometimes service providers from other agencies come to visit us and tell us that they know a child they work with has been fully clothed by Tandem their entire lives. We've watched families grow through the births of multiple children and are so grateful to be a part of the fabric of the village that cares for and nurtures them. We've also supported families through unthinkable crises. We're incredibly humbled and honored to be a safe place for them to come and ask for help. We've helped families navigate through unsafe homes, abuse, legal concerns, food insecurity, and more, connecting them to partner agencies as needed, and able to do this effectively because we have built a relationship of trust and safety with these families first. Our mental health support groups are sometimes the things that keep struggling new moms holding on. They are currently fully grant funded, but the grant does not cover rent, utilities, having a website or email system or payroll system. This week, I learned of a high-income and well-resourced client who factored Tandem into her family's decision to move to Bloomington. All families need support. Because of Jack Hopkins, we're here serving the community. With your ongoing support, we will continue to be here. So thank you for believing in this work.
Thank you. Anybody have any follow-up questions to that? So I'll start. I guess, so it sounds like without this funding, there is a very strong chance that this is not sustainable. I just want to
Yes.
put that in black and white,
existence
very
hinges-
clear.
Like last year, every dollar we received is the reason we're here today. And I may not have budgeted for the full amount because I know it was an absurd ask, but I also don't know where the rest is coming for. And I know I will be fundraising throughout the year to make it happen. And Tandem exists because we just keep believing that it will. And I will say that there's a lot of hope on the horizon for sustainability. And an interesting thing about Tandem is that we're not a structure that really exists anywhere else. There are pregnancy resource centers, there are diaper banks, there are doula groups. There is no postpartum house like ours that operates like ours does for anyone regardless of ability to pay. And there's very, very few centers like ours that are this wraparound, third space, sense community building, and accessible to everyone. I think I think one of the most powerful things we do is make our services feel accessible to everyone of all income levels. So like a little anecdotal story I can tell you is that, so we have a bunch of support groups and moms get to know each other and they start texting each other outside a group and they become friends. And when you have a support group where everybody in that group is low income, they're all limited resource. They all have limited resources, and their ability to help each other is limited by that. And but because our groups have these cross socioeconomic background, individuals and families, we see things like, one mom might help another mom with time, right? Or with advice. I figured out how to get my kid to sleep, and I'm going to teach you my newfound trick, right? And then another mom might do what one of our moms in a support group did a couple weeks ago. She knew this mom needed a bunk bed for her older child. She ordered it, and it showed up on her doorstep. And that mom's got a new bunk bed now, and we didn't have to provide that. And it was something, for that mom, it was, sure, I can buy that bunk bed, that's fine. And so we're creating these incredibly powerful protective support networks. And when we see families come in and not only tell us, like, I need help because of all these challenges in my life, but they come in and then 3 or 4 other Tandem clients come in behind them because they've texted them and said, I need help, and I'm going to Tandem. And then they all come in and they all help each other and provide support, and they use our space to provide support. They bring meals. That feels like we're building something that, because parents outgrow Tandem. You know, our clothing sizes only go to 5T. But I really feel like we're building a community for people that they're going to take for the rest of their lives and have for the rest of their lives. But when I was trying to, I diverge. I was trying to say what the hope is. So we've been working for the whole last year with the Ursay Institute. We have funding for our mental health groups that I talked about, and we're doing research. And I included some of the early stats that we've been getting from that research in our original grant application. And we just got accepted with our extended abstract to present at ASA, the American Sociologists. It's the sociologist people. They're all going to be meeting in New York City in August, and our paper's been selected to be presented nationally at this conference. And then, and our research scientists who are working at the Ursay Institute are so excited. We've applied for Robert Wood Johnson Foundation funding for years and never gotten it because we're not a, big enough organization. But this year, IU's Ursay Institute is going to apply for Robert Wood Johnson for us, with us as their community collaborator. So like, maybe we won't get it this year, but now I feel like we have a chance. And now they're also watching for NIH grants to see if we can get it, because we feel that we are fundamentally reinventing what it means to provide support to families, and or what I like to say, to reinvent the village, because we've fundamentally deconstructed it in our modern society, and it's not sustainable, and it's not healthy, and it doesn't make sense for the long term for the adults in the families or for the children.
Can I ask about your fundraising efforts?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear just like what fundraising looks like, what you'd like it to look like in the future.
Yeah, so this year we're working to develop a more robust sort of annual schedule of different fundraisers that pop up. But we had our previous board president had a lot of connections in the tattoo community, so we did a bunch of pop-up tattoo fundraisers throughout the last couple years. Last year when we were running out of money, I was coming up on my 40th birthday, and I went, gee, we're out of money. And I have to pay payroll, and we can't fail. And so I said, well, we're going to launch the 40-40-40 project, and it's raised $40,000 in 40 days for Julie's 40th birthday. And of course, the pregnancy is 40 weeks, so it all, it all melded into the 40s. And so in 40 days, we raised $50,000 with a social media post every day, which was just me posting and sending out letters and cold calling and cold emailing, and we did it. So we did that. But this year we're going to be launching our first annual gala process. We've never done the gala scene, but it's going to be a tea party, and we're trying to make it family friendly. But yeah, so we've done small scale fundraisers, some larger scale ones, but this gala will be our first really significant centralized fundraiser, I guess. But we also do trivia nights and dine and donates, and any way that we can scrape funds, I do.
Do you maintain a donor database?
Yeah, in fact, so the donor database has been a combination of, our QuickBooks database and our MailChimp's database and Excel spreadsheets, but we're actually just launching with Little Green Light to be more effectively centered with our donors.
Any other questions for Tandem? All good?
I mean, mine's just a comment that I feel like our biggest question just with I know that like unrestricted funding or operational funds are super hard to come by, and that's always a really hard case to make, and I feel like my mind is eased by kind of the story of hope you told. So I just wanted to say props to you.
Thanks. I mean, I consider running a nonprofit to be like cliff jumping. I don't know if Eddie, you relate to this, but you get a grant and you commit to it and you run with it, and you just have to believe. You jump off that cliff with that grant, and you're like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to believe there's going to be funding on the other side. And it's worked so far. Sometimes just by a hair.
But thank you very much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it, and thank you for all you do.
first I
Alright.
thought she was implying, Eddie, that you were a cliff jumper. And then I realized,
That he runs a
then I
nonprofit.
realized he talked about running a
I have
nonprofit.
affiliations with nonprofits, but fortunately, I don't have to fundraise like Julie does, and,
Yeah.
but, you know, high respect for the work that you do. I mean, you know that already from me, so.
I like to say, you know, I'm HR, IT, finance, grant writing, and I clean the sewage spills. I don't have any staff, I pay enough for that.
Thank you.
All right. Are you with Sober Mesa Foundation? No, okay.
I think they're in the hallway.
Oh, hi.
Here we are.
You are, come on in, hi. We're about 4 minutes early, but are you guys okay getting started 4 minutes early?
Sure.
Awesome.
Should we sit here?
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, we did have just some follow-up questions. I'm sure that you received them in an email. We've been a little bit relaxed with this. Do you want us to just kind of go through the questions with you? I don't know if you planned a presentation, if you had something you wanted to start, or if you just want us to dive into the questions. We weren't expecting a presentation. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And also,
I don't wanna
full-
stress you
full
out.
transparency too, we invite all organizations we haven't spoken with before to come so we can have FaceTime with you as well. So a lot of that is like the.
So, when I would say something, since our organization is new, I don't know if you have a chance to search and learn about us. If not, we probably will be better to explain what it's all about. And then we go to the questions, or if you want the questions first.
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
why don't you tell us a little bit about your organization, since you've not applied to Jack Hopkins before.
Okay.
So we'd love to hear a little bit from your end.
Can you hear me okay from this distance from the mic?
Catherine, can you hear them okay?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
So my name's Robert Frew. This is Juan Carlos Arango. And we started Sobre Mesa Farm in 2013. And through that journey of getting the farm started, we realized that, number one, we needed additional labor. And number two, that there was a real need for fresh, organically grown produce in Bloomington, and not specifically at the farmer's market. So we made a cognitive decision to never participate in that market downtown, simply because there were already so many people that are providing similar products. Why did we need to compete with others? So our model has really been one that's engaged in bringing the community to our farm, opening it up, having people come there, do workshops, and learn about growing food, about growing community, inviting schools to come and do tours, hosting meetings for other entities, and having workshops, professional workshops for growers and producers. And so during that journey, as I mentioned, we realized that we needed to have additional labor, because we could see that we were aging, and so we had to have younger people help us. And both of us are linguists and work as interpreters. That's our off-farm jobs. And so through that community, we decided, hey, why isn't it that we have people here who are from other cultures, speak different languages, and have an opportunity to engage in the small-scale farming system in the United States? So that was the launching board for us reaching out to Exodus. And Exodus has partnered with us for the last, really, what, 3 or 4 years? 4 years. We've trained a total of 6 refugees at our farm, and some of them have moved on to other projects, which we assisted them with. And we still have 2 refugees now that work with us. And so we came up with this idea that, hey, how can we help more people, people who don't have access to small-scale farming, who perhaps don't feel comfortable to get into that or to learn about it? How do we create an atmosphere where they feel comfortable and want to come? So we were looking for a site in Bloomington for a while, which needed to be an urban location, because many people who are more marginalized do not have vehicles. They didn't have the means to get back and forth to our farm to learn there.
So we waited for the opportunity which presented itself when IU Campus Farm gave up its location. And so we leased the farm, and we started the project really this year. And we are now in the throes of it. We have everything tilled. We're doing partial cover crops. We already have things in the ground. We have our potato, seed potato cutting this coming week, and we have other, lots of other crops and seeds that we're looking to get and to be able to plant there. So it's sort of a multi-pronged approach. We wanted to first be able to share this idea about how do you start up a micro business in growing food in Bloomington. And we have a lot of background and experience now, I think, in doing that. We host a market at our farm. And we've also been helping some of the pantries locally with excess produce. So we decided that we would create a foundation to be able to have access to grants, which we formerly did not as a for-profit farm. And through those grants and through sponsorships and collaboration with other like-minded entities in Bloomington, such as Soil and Water Conservation District, Purdue Extension, through Urban Soil and Water, and through National Resource Conservation Service, NRCS, that we would sort of gather all of these entities behind us and collaborate with them and how we could use a mutual space for educating the community in Bloomington in many different ways. So that was the idea behind it. It's now just sort of taking off. We're having meetings with Soil and Water. We're having meetings with IU because they also want to be able to do research projects and provide support for us at the farm with marketing and other things that perhaps people could do, either internships or some sort of research. So we really wanted to spread our fingers out a little bit and see if we can get as many people as possible to support us. We also have Duke Energy, which jumped on very quickly. That was really a great accomplishment, I think. Normally you have to work so hard to get someone to support your project, and it wasn't like that with Duke. So, and then we came into the project with seed money from Farm Aid. We were one of the featured farms in 2023 when it was in Indianapolis. And through those relationships ongoing, we have been able to really get the organization, the foundation up and going with initial funding. And am I forgetting any other partners or sponsors that have helped us?
No, Marble Seeds.
Marble Seed also, which used to be called Moses. I don't know if Dave, you're familiar with that. Okay, so Moses, formerly called Moses, it's the largest organization in the Midwest that supports organic farmers. And so they've changed their name now to Marble Seed. And they are partnering with us this summer in June to present a workshop here in Bloomington at the new Daisy Garten Community Farm. And I think it will sort of be a regional attraction. There's not often that they're here in Indiana, so it'll be a chance for a lot of small-scale farmers to be able to come and attend the training. It's an all-day training. And then we have workshops on soil and water conservation. We're doing workshops on seeding, transplanting, caring for crops. We have approximately 10 participants now who went through vetting and through an application process. So we made sure that they were serious about getting involved. And anything else on that?
I think that's
Okay.
pretty good, the general idea of what we are doing or trying to do.
Yeah. So we have been volunteers in Bloomington. We came to Bloomington as volunteers, and through that is why we moved here. So we came to work with the Center for Sustainable Living. We were living in Brown County and driving back and forth several times a week. And we were volunteering through a program that the Center for Sustainable Living had supported, which was called Backyard Habitat. And so through Lucille Bertuccio and through others there at the Center for Sustainable Living, we got very much involved in helping churches and businesses and schools put in backyard habitats in Bloomington. We did that for 12 years. And so after that, and we got Bloomington certified as one of the 26 backyard habitat cities in the United States. We got a proclamation from the mayor and all that. So we said, hey, we need to do something else now. And so that was the farm, and now we're on to the foundation.
Wonderful.
So that's our story.
Thank you for that. That's really helpful and really inspiring to hear and exciting. Does anybody have any questions? No?
I'm curious about, do you have the entire farm to work? Or
Yes.
really?
I think it's almost 8 acres, I think.
Yeah,
The hoop houses and?
Yes.
Two
Yeah.
that are left, yeah.
Fantastic.
And the woods, which is going to be, I'm very excited about that because there are so many issues, you probably know. And RCA now is covering that in one of the quick practices is to restore woods with problems. So it's a 3-year project. So we want to have those woods back and thriving. That's what we hope. It's,
Terrific.
yeah, it's,
So what are you growing?
right now, so the project, because we want to have people from different cultures and countries, we want to provide what mostly everybody grows here. But we hope they will bring their own seeds, and that will be a good and exciting thing for Bloomington, because we have seen similar organizations with similar programs in other part of the country. We visited Louisville, and we were amazed of the variety of food that they provide. So it would be good for Bloomington to experience other tastes and flavors.
Yeah, we visited other projects in Louisville, 3 projects that were similar. And then also when we went to Marble Seed Conference, Juan Carlos is one of the mentors for part of a project through Marble Seed. And we talked with other projects there that were from various parts of the Midwest, Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota. And we kind of extracted from them different components so that we weren't trying to reinvent the wheel here. And we had the farming part solid. We knew how to do that. But we needed to understand, why is it that people who are immigrants, refugees, and others, why would they want to come to this piece of land to grow food and be a part of a learning process, an educational experience? And what we really came to was that, people want to have a sense of community and family. And so many of them were bringing their families to the projects. It wasn't just one individual farming. And that once they started there, they really connected with that land, and they wanted to return every year. So, and that is our goal. We want this to be an ongoing project. And I like the idea of having families there on site, and it's such a walkable place. It's really just ideal. There's thousands of people that can walk there from the apartments around there. And I think once we get started and they see people out there working, that more people will want to come. And so the basic model is that, I mentioned micro business earlier, so part of our goal was that we would help many of them to be able to develop a CSA model. This is basically the thing that most of the farmers and small scale do in Bloomington, particularly those that are at farmers markets. They have a side hustle that's called a CSA, and some of them are even probably picking up at the farmers market. So we want to teach them how to do that, and many of them already have a ready-made clientele through their churches who have already supported a lot of the immigrants and the refugees. And then typical means like what we have had to do, reaching out. And then we want to teach them about how to manage a market stand on site at the new farm, and how to learn to grow food in this climate, which is really, I think, a challenge. They may have some skills already from their previous country that they're from, but they need to sort of adapt those skills to this climate here. And we want to give them more opportunities how to take care of bees. We have 3 hives there now at the farm. And to really sort of incorporate into their personal belief system the importance of environmental stewardship. That's just core to who we are at our farm and to Sober Mesa Foundation. That's one of our main goals, is to be very good stewards of the land and to help people understand the importance of sustainability and resilience.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for coming in. I mean, that's 15 minutes. Any last quick questions, or everybody good? All right. Thank you very much. It was very nice to meet you, and thank you for all that you do. Up next, we have the Hendricks County Child Advocacy Center, doing business as Susie's Place. Is that you?
That's me.
Come on in. Hi, nice to see
Do you want me
you.
to carry that?
Either will do. You're good? Okay. Hi. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm Kathy Stoll. I may not be who you were expecting today. The person who was going to be here today has a fever and didn't think she would want to share that with all of you. So, so I'm here in her stead. I'm actually new to Susie's Place. This is my 3rd week. But I actually served on the board for several years. So have a lot of background information about Susie's Place and what we do and what we mean to the communities that we serve. So I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. Well, let's see. We just invited a handful of organizations who we had some follow-up questions to that we thought were probably easier to do face-to-face rather than over email, where the back and forths can get confusing. So we had, I believe in the invitation, we had sent you, we just had one question that it looks like. So really the question was, why do you need this operational funding now? So can you just kind of expand on that for us a little bit and walk us through?
Yeah. So it really is, and the way it was described in the application, it's a bridge. It's not way we're looking for Jack Hopkins to fund people for an extended period of time. It really is sort of a one-time bridge. We have a number of pots of money that fund our people in operations. One of the primary funds that supports those direct service providers, so the forensic interviewers and the advocates, is a federal pot of money it's referred to as VOCA. It's Victims of Crime Act. So that's where a big portion of that funding source for those positions come. That federal pot of dollars is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as there continues to be a lot of pull and drawdown from that funding. So we've been advised to confidently expect across the board that next round of VOCA funding is going to be about a 40% cut. So, right, that's the face we all made. The organization has been really ramping up the other side of our fundraising capabilities to really do the work to try to rebalance that dependence, right, on those government sources of funding. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm new to the organization. I'm grant funded from other sources for the most part for now, but I need to get busy and be good at this job to make myself self-sustaining and really grow our capacity to cultivate donors and just become more independent. But we're just in this really funky period of time right now where we know this cut is coming. We know that we've got the building blocks in place to do good things probably 27 and beyond, right? But we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we're having to think about how do we cut services to kids in the meantime. And so that's the background for this ask for this point in time.
So you kind of dipped your toe into like my follow-up question there, which I hate this follow-up question, but
No.
it's an important one
Yep.
to know, so don't read anything into it. But, what does happen if you don't get this money? You mentioned cut services.
Yeah,
is
I mean,
that-
we'll have to make some hard decisions.
Yeah.
I think and they all feel like worst case scenario, right? Because anytime we take people out of this, we're really in that sort of first responder package of people that are talking to kids who've been victimized by crime. Our partners in that work are DCS and law enforcement and prosecutors. It's a critical piece of that investigatory process to get kids justice, and then on the path to healing. We're critical. That work is critical, and the services that we provide are critical. We would have to look at, there are some positions that will be open by some natural attrition. We've got some stay-at-home moms who want to be stay-at-home moms. So the first thing you would look at is, do we not backfill that, right, for now? That's hard, right? It's not letting someone go, which is probably worst case scenario, right? But it stretches the existing team. That we have 3 locations. We have the location here in Bloomington. We have a center in Avon. And we have a center in Terre Haute. So we would be able to continue to provide services, running those team members between the 3 locations. We do a bit of that now, but people have a home base. And the demand for the care these forensic interviewers and advocates provide isn't going away, but our supply of people to do that work would be less, and that's hard on everybody. It's hard on a team. It's hard on kids. Our team is available 24/7 when something acute is going on with a kid and police or DCS thinks they need to be talked to right now and it's 2:00 in the morning. Our team that's on call comes in at 2:00 in the morning and handles that interview. If you start reducing the number of people who are able to do that work, when the phone rings, right, the timeline extends. So that's the terrible answer. That's the terrible answer to the question.
To the terrible question.
To the terrible
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
I have one, maybe two.
Okay.
So if worst case scenario, you don't receive these funds or partial funding, are you saying that you would lose the home base in Bloomington?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, we would have to make people
Gotcha.
mobile,
Okay.
right? Of the 3 centers, and I love them all equally. Bloomington is my favorite. The team here has invested with some furnishings in that center. We've had great partnerships, so we actually offer medical services to kids in that building as well. So it's really the best example of the full wraparound service that a child advocacy center can and should provide to kids under one roof. We would just, the math just divides the people, right, to have to spread out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, forgive me if it was in somewhere in the materials, the application materials, and you've already brought this up in a form that I missed. But do you have any any formal relationship with Monroe County CASA at all, or is there just no room for overlap?
So it's a great question, and I don't know the answer definitively, other than the CASA support comes further down the journey for the child through the criminal justice system. We're really at the front, perhaps before there's been an arrest or a charge or any of that stuff. We're in those early moments when we're having that initial conversation with the child victim, a safe place for them to tell their story and be heard. Doesn't always result in a criminal case that comes from that, where that child would then at some point along the way intersect with CASA. it's confusing because the words are the same, but it's two separate pieces of the journey. Yeah.
Thank you.
Would anybody else have any follow-up questions? No? All right. Well, I think you gave us a very great explanation, helped us understand a little bit better. So thank you very much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I hope you didn't have to come from one of the farther flung. Did you have a long drive?
So I'm mobile. I'm a nomad across all three all the time. So
You're always traveling.
Yeah. So I could always throw somebody in my car and bring them down here at 2:00 in the morning.
Well, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Next up, we have Kesem at Indiana University. Did I say it right? You yelled at me last time.
I didn't yell. I thought it was.
But I was closer this time. I said it.
It was not Casey Kasem.
Kesem.
Kesem.
Kesem. I was right. All right.
I'm just messing with you.
Do we have anybody here from Kesem? We are a few minutes early, actually, with them. We have
Since
8 more minutes.
since we know that Silver Linings isn't going to be here at 7:30, maybe we can invite Summit Hill Development Corporation to present at 7:30.
That'd be great.
So that way they can get out of here. That's the one I have to leave the room for.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, so
Got it.
works out
Yeah.
for me.
No, that works out really
Yeah.
well.
I'm just here early because I'm nervous and I've never done this, so I said to
Alright.
everybody.
Great. We'll be very nice, I promise. Hi.
Hi, we're Kesem. I know we're a little bit earlier.
No,
Let's-
perfect.
We're ready for
We
you.
are ready for you. We've been running a few minutes early, so that's great that you guys are here. Thank you. Come on in.
Right here's perfect.
Right here is good, or, we'll try to be nice.
It's a very cute logo.
I like it.
This is Carl. He's our caterpillar.
Carl.
Yes.
Very cute.
All right, so we'll just go ahead and get started.
Wait, before you get started.
Yes.
Tell us your camp nicknames.
I'm Atlas.
I'm Awesomeness. Came up with that when I was 9.
Oh, you, okay, I'm gonna have to hear backstories to those after you guys
Of course.
do the hard part.
Of course. Okay, so I'm Mary or Atlas, and
I'm Jonathan, or Awesomeness.
we're the development coordinators for Kesem at Indiana University. So we kind of handle all things fundraising. We apply for grants throughout the year. We facilitate individual fundraising with our members. Anything else to add?
Yeah, we organize very regular fundraisers. We usually have 1 or 2 smaller fundraisers a month, and then we'll have usually larger fundraisers quarterly. One example is Giving Tuesday. We typically do a 24-hour fundraiser. We'll have a room, and it's all mostly peer-to-peer, so most of our volunteers will reach out to their local networks. This also includes things like professors, friends at the university, and then pretty regularly we'll also engage in canning, which is just going around locally and getting donations at just university events, things like that. And then we also have Make the Magic, which is our spring fundraising gala. We'll typically invite a lot of community members, and we'll auction off items that were donated to us. So.
Yeah. So then a little bit about what Kesem is. It's a national organization with chapters at colleges across the country. I believe there's about over 100 chapters. And we are one of 3 in Indiana. We serve 130 kids across the state and 10 who live in Monroe County. And what we do is we put on year-round support for kids affected by a parent's cancer. And our flagship program is we have 2 one-week sessions of summer camp. All of it's completely free of cost to our camper families. So the summer camp, and then we have spring and fall friends and family days where people can come out, see their camp friends, catch up. We'll usually do a day at camp with field day games. And then we'll send out birthday cards and care packages throughout the year to just help foster a community. And then, do you want to add?
Yeah, there's also, we also provide bereavement support included in that. If a camper has a parent who passes away, then we'll usually provide them with a little bit more year-round care. That might involve sending them an extra care package, or in the past we've had some counselors like attend a funeral to be there for the student or the camper. So that's all included, free of charge.
Yeah, and then a little bit about our finances next. So all of the money that we raise goes completely towards the camp. All of the money is raised either by our volunteers, our counselors, or through grants and other similar funding sources. Right now, our break-even point is just over $100,000 a year, like $105,000. Our biggest expense is programming. About $62,000 of that goes to securing our campsite, paying for meals at camp, snacks, travel, that kind of thing associated with camp. And then $2,000 goes to program supplies, so like first aid supplies, our camp t-shirts that we have all the campers get every summer, other events we do. And then our next biggest expense of about $6,000 is the stipend that we have for nurses and mental health professionals at camp. We are required to have at least one mental health professional per week, and we usually try and have at least two, and then we're required to have 2 nurses. And the mental health professionals are really there just to, we, as college students, we can't handle every conversation. We're not capable of doing that. So they're there to be an extra ear, and then also if things need to be like escalated to our nationals or dealt with by a professional, they'll take over with that. And then nurses to do like meds, make sure everyone's safe. We have some crazy activities, so they're definitely passing out Band-Aids more quite a bit.
Yeah. And with that professional staff, all of our camp counselors, all of our camp directors are volunteers. The only paid staff are our nurses and our health and wellness team. They also we also have camp advisors who are counselors from another chapter who serve as a liaison between our chapter and nationals. They're also volunteer position. So the vast majority of our funds do go directly towards supporting campers. We spend about $13,000 a year directly applied towards our technology, our chapter fees. That goes towards supporting nationals as well, since nationals provides a lot of support to our chapter. So Kesem is also rated a 4-star 99% charity by Charity Navigator. That's the highest grade available to a charity, and that's for Kesem National as a whole. And that grade typically reflects like a very high transparency, very efficient fundraising as well, and low administrative costs.
So with all of this, I think the number that's really important is $500, which is what it costs to send one child to camp and then also offer year-round support to them. So we're asking for $5,000 to fully cover the yearly cost for the 10 Monroe County campers, and kind of just breaking down that $500 a little bit more. And this is, it's not a perfect science because not everything is broken down per camper and like our master budget, but lodging and meals at camp cost about $275 per camper, about $50 for our mental health professionals and nurses. Year-round support and our friends and family days is about $25. Camp shirts and tie-dye, $15. Snacks and alternative meals, we have like peanut butter and jelly for kids who might not like what the cafeteria is selling.
We also have alternate things for campers with dietary concerns. So.
That's about $10. And then the rest we had as miscellaneous expenses, which is $125, but that includes camper family recruitment, so going out to events to try and recruit more camper families. Art supplies, we do a lot of crafts. Friendship bracelets is like a staple of our camp. You can, like, during any activity, you can see at least like 10 kids sitting down in a circle, like making friendship bracelets. It's the cutest thing ever. Need-based assistance. So when we say that our camp is completely free of cost to the campers and their families, we mean completely free of cost. So if they need reimbursement for transportation to get out to the camp, if they need clothing, if they need bedding, if they need toiletries, literally anything that they need if they reach out to us, we will reimburse them for that. We want to make sure that everybody who needs CASM is able to get to CASM. Miscellaneous expenses also covers like first aid supplies, transportation reimbursement. We do like gas cards, that type of things. We have warm welcomes, which is like a little care package we send leading up to camp where we announce the dress up day themes and like the packing list, and it has little activities corresponding with all of that. We have fidget toys, which are really important during our empowerment ceremony that we'll talk about a little bit later, and then supplies for our Messy Olympics and like our graduation stoles for the campers who are graduating, that kind of thing.
So a typical day at camp, in the morning they'll wake up right around 7, and then they'll go to breakfast. And then right after every breakfast and every dinner, they participate in Song Circle. This is just your typical like regular summer camp songs, but it also provides like a time for one physical activity because it's very helpful, especially in the afternoon, to have them do their Song Circle before nap time, as well as it's a good time for them to get to know each other and to bond. And then after that, we'll transition to a morning activity. This might be something like going down to the lake to go swimming, or it might be a high ropes course, or it might be some team building activities or a craft. And then they'll transition to lunch. We follow this pretty closely with rest hour. So this rest hour is like incredibly important for them, especially with the heavy nature of the camp and how that can be sometimes stressful. It really helps for them to be able to decompress. I can speak to that as a former camper myself. It's more or less just a decompression time and a time, and it's also a bonding point. But they'll transition to an afternoon activity. One of the big afternoon activities that we'll do about, I think, the third day of camp usually, it's called empowerment. So our empowerment ceremony is kind of the focus of camp. This provides each camper a time to share their stories with cancer, since each camper has been directly impacted or has a parent who has been directly impacted by cancer. And this also includes, like, we'll have a parent remembrance ceremony for campers who have lost a parent. They can do a small craft and they can share their story with cancer, however that may be. Some campers know more than others, especially like older campers may know a lot more about their parents' treatment, and younger campers might have a very naive view of it. And it's really helpful for all of them to be able to share how they feel.
And we also, when we do empowerment, we do, well, for the whole camp, it's kind of split into what we call like the TLP, teen leadership program, and then the littles. So ages 6 through 13, they have their own empowerment, and then 14 through 18 has their own, so that they can kind of be catered towards just the maturity levels of the kids and keep it in like a smaller group, so to keep just things appropriate.
Yeah, and with that, we provide warm and fuzzies, which is essentially like, oftentimes we'll provide a small stuffed animal, and those like, we mentioned fidget toys earlier. Those help a lot of the kids like focus and like kind of decompress and de-stress. And oftentimes that's kind of the focus of the week. Kids share as much or as little as they want to. Another important activity that we do at the end of the week, it's our yearly Messy Olympics. It's mostly just a paint war, but it's a very great way to decompress. We'll usually do that the day after empowerment. So we follow a pretty heavy day by a very light, very messy day. And after empowerment, we follow that with our Empower Hour. It's more or less a free hour, but we also we work with a local service dog organization. They'll bring in therapy dogs, and that definitely helps our campers. And then at the end of the night, we always do a cabin chat. So we do this at the end of every night, but you've got your typical camp questions. It might be, if you had to eat your way out of a room, what food would you choose? Or, but then typically closer towards empowerment, we can delve deeper into like the heavier questions. They might want to do a small pre-empowerment where they can share their story in a smaller group. or just ask questions to each other. So that's all a really important part of processing a parent's cancer, is to be able to share your experience, but also hear from others and to bond over that shared experience. So.
And we also have just a few pictures, and then I can turn it around. I'll show you guys next. Or, yeah, you. So we have like this is our graduation, just a little dance party, and that's our big
So we
camp
have,
photo. We have 2 weeks of
This is our
camp, and then
photo. We've got some small camp
here's some more
here as well.
activities.
This is
These
a
are our
picture from Psalm
nurses. We
Circle.
couldn't do it without them, and just we have
So,
like the lake,
This is just
some
s'mores.
music. We have lots of musically
Fire
gifted
s'mores.
campers.
And
It's our
then
Messy
we,
Olympics up here, and some therapy
luminaries,
dogs.
Which is it's just a small bag that has a small
Candle.
a small little candle in
Yeah.
it. And then this is pictures. These are the service dogs from our empowerment ceremony. This is our Messy Olympics, and these are our professional staff right
I
there.
wish you guys had a camp for adults too. I think it could be beneficial
That's our
for
Make the
many
Magic.
adults too.
Yeah. So any questions?
Any questions?
Hi.
No?
Oh yes.
You said something about earlier, a thought about some money being required to securing a camp or temporary. But isn't the camp isn't it a permanent location in Bartholomew County? Isn't that?
No, so I believe I've been with Kesman at IU for the last 3 years. He could speak to where the camp has been more long term since you've been a camper. But the last couple of years we've been at Happy Hollows Children Camp in Nashville. And then this year we're going to have 1 week there and 1 week at Camp
Indicosa.
Indicosa, which is, I don't know what county, but it's like 30 minutes, not even south from here. But we just typically, like, it'll be a camp that they have their own summer camp programs, and then either when they're done running their own summer camps, we'll like rent it out for a week, and then their staff will still be on to like be working in the kitchen, help provide activities, and like facilitate all of that. But we don't have our own permanent campsite.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm curious just how the campers are selected.
So we have an application that they fill out online, but can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. So these campers, like we'll usually do kind of public like recruitment events. Most campers are recruited through word of mouth. That's how I was essentially recruited, through a mutual friend at my elementary school. So I can't fully speak as to the selection process, but we typically have very few, if any, waitlisted campers. And it's open to any child who has a parent or caregiver who's been affected by cancer. So if they have a grandparent who's their primary caretaker,
Or if they're in foster care.
or if they're in foster care due to having like lost a parent to cancer, they're open to, or they're like able to be accepted.
I believe the only reason a child would be waitlisted is purely just for financial reasons if we didn't have the funding to cover them.
But as far as I know, I can't speak to if any camper has been waitlisted. I don't remember
We
that.
we have another group of coordinators or outreach coordinators who deal with the camper families more directly. So we could also reach out to them and then get an answer to you like in the next day or two.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions. Anybody else? Well, we had not had application from you before, so we wanted to have you guys come in and tell us a little bit about your organization. So you guys were really informative. Thank you. Every time I thought of a question, you answered it ahead of time. So awesome. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank
and
you for
thank you for
having
everything
us.
that you
Thank
guys
you.
do.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. All right. Super. We are moving right along.
Have a good
That's awesome.
afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Do you want to come up and you're next?
I have to recuse
And you
myself.
can recuse yourself. Thank you. Well, thanks for being here and for all your patience and hearing everybody out. I hope it helped.
It did actually.
Oh, good.
And honestly, I have a lot of respect for you guys. There are a lot of great things that you've had to hear about. So
And this is just a small slice of all the applications.
I had thought about that. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I was nervous.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Ruckus Harris. I work for the Bloomington Housing Authority. I've worked there for the past couple years now. I started as a receptionist at the front desk, and I had worked there like back in '05 as a Section 8 caseworker. So I've come back to social work post-pandemically. And so the program that I'm really proud of that kind of got me started, and one of the reasons I took on the position as Ross coordinator, was the grocery shuttle. Especially at the time, I know Chales Market just opened on 11th Street, but prior to that, gas station opening back up, the low-income housing was a food desert. There was no place. And then at the same time that market was closed, there was the Kroger downtown, had all the construction going around it. So a lot of our residents, that was their grocery store they went to, and that added like a whole block of walking. So for our elderly or physically challenged residents, that was a big problem, and luckily we had the grocery shuttle to kind of help people get food. I was through a grant with the Bloomington Health Foundation at first. When I had got the program, it actually hadn't had much traction yet. It was a great idea. Someone was like, we need a way for people to get food. But no one had actually ever, I think, taken anybody to the grocery store and realized like you have to, how many people can you take? Where are you going to put your groceries when you pick them up? How many people at one time? How long are you going to give them to shop? What are you going to do when someone takes 2 hours when they said they'd only take 1 hour? Things like that. So I had a lot of logistics to figure out. And by working with a lot of the residents and just being a single mom of 4 for 20 years, I kind of already had a lot of like, wait, I know how to do this. And it's been going great. The lease, however, for the shuttle is up in September. And so I've been tasked with figuring out what we're going to do. I've talked to Curiato, and they are willing. The $24,000 is to secure buying the vehicle that we had been previously leasing, because that changes a expense into an asset.
Mm-hmm.
And this is I've done a lot with as the resident coordinator for the Housing Authority now, and this is the program I am most proud of that I see actually make a difference in low-income housing. Not being able to get groceries or only being able to get what you can carry changes your diet. It changes your entire schedule. I know lots of elderly who haven't eaten potatoes, and because they didn't want to just buy one, but they can't carry a 10-pound bag for 4 blocks. So occasionally they would buy one, but it's just not the best fiscally responsible way to buy potatoes. That's just one example.
Like a gallon of milk.
Yeah, exactly. A gallon of milk is not doable. There's a lot of ways that, and just the weather too.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of residents now. I've been able to build this program, and they rely on it. It's they can plan their meals by it. A lot of folks have met each other because they go grocery shopping together now. So it's actually created community in a place where there's a lot of poverty trauma, and keeps people from getting to know one another, getting to know their neighbors. They want to stay to themselves. That way they're under the radar. The less attention brought to them, means less danger of losing housing. That's one of the problems I have run across when trying to create community. And so I love this program because it's one of the easy, I don't have to try very hard. When people shop together, they talk together, they get to know each other. We're actually going to be featured in the Bloomington Health Foundation newsletter. So I brought an article that was written about the program. I didn't know if I should bring anything. I know you guys had questions, and I asked my boss, do I answer those questions in an email? And he said yes, so I answered those questions in an email, but I can answer them again here in person. And I also have some pictures of our shuttle and the residents' shop, a couple of them anyway. That's me and my assistant Lowell, who helps with the program.
That's from Curry?
Yep. When I first was hired on, the van that was used was, I don't know, like the old church buses.
Uh-huh.
And I can see why someone thought that was a good idea, because you can fit a lot of people in a church bus. But the bench seats are this wide, and so you and your groceries and a bunch of, like, it wasn't working really well. So I went to Curry and I told him, I was like, and it's hard to get up into one of those vans. So there was a couple of my residents who I had bought a step stool and some extra handles, and it still made me nervous. So I told Curry I needed something where an elderly person could sit down into, and me not being nervous right the whole time. And these old Pacificas have these Pacificas have the scoop in the back where you can, like, it dips down so you can fit groceries down in there. So they don't roll all over the van on everybody.
Yeah. So then, one of the questions that we had was, is this price that you have listed, like, is this like contracted with Curry already? Are they like locked into that price?
Apparently.
Okay.
I have asked, as like, so would you guys be willing to, like, wiggle? And we haven't got a response yet. We don't know if that's a kind no, or if behind the scenes they're trying to figure out if they could do anything for us.
Right.
But we have asked very nicely.
But my concern is when you are ready to purchase it, they're not going to go, oh, but now it went up $5,000. Like, I think that's more the concern. Would a car dealer do that?
Right. No, we actually have they've worked with us really well, and I really doubt that they would do that to us. They're just as proud of their name on this van, because their name's on it too. And they really seem to, like, understand what it meant for the community.
Yeah.
So I don't think they would do that.
Okay. Had to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sent me an email. I do have an email in writing where it says that price.
Well,
I don't know how that's, I would.
writing.
Yeah, I have it in writing.
It's down to the penny, too.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Can I have a look at that?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Did anybody have any questions?
No, I loved your sentiment of when people shop together, they talk together, like those little pieces of community building we don't think about. So.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. Anybody else? It's like that new trend of, instead of going to get a drink or coffee with your friends, go do errands with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do
So
have
smart.
residents so we run it 3 days a week now, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I had to, like, figure out scheduling, because at first I was taking a group of people and then waiting for them, and then dropping them off and picking up more people. But I got tired of waiting in parking lots, so I was like, wait a minute, while they're in there, I could go pick someone else up. That took a little bit more coordination, but it worked out, because if someone actually does need 2 hours, I will take you with the first trip of people, and then I'll come back, pick someone else. You don't have to come back on the trip where I come back. You can wait, because then I'll pick those people up from the first trip, take them home, and then bring more people to the store, and they usually come home on the trip where those people would come home. So that way I can maximize. It doesn't always work, and there have been, like, we have most people have cell phones. There have been a couple times I've been like, I will be there in 10 minutes. But most of the time, I've never had anyone, they're like, no, the bus would take an hour.
So like a big game of Tetris.
Yeah.
Getting everything.
And you have to figure out because closer to the day that people receive their food stamps, they're going to get way more groceries. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple times I've had to be like, maybe just you by yourself, because I know that it's stock up day.
Yeah.
And we've also tried to, once we've taken people to the farmer's market. I've really tried to get more interest in that too. But again, we've been doing this for a couple years, so it's honestly just getting people to take it and trust it as a service was a lot of my challenge at first.
And so how do you find riders? You know, how do you connect with the people who need these rides?
I'm in a great position
Or
because
how do they find you, I should say?
I work for the Bloomington Housing Authority. I'm the resident service coordinator. So I know who needs the services, and if someone's having a hard time, I'm who they would come to. So it's like, oh, I know what to do for that.
Great. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Even so, though, it still took, the poverty trauma means that people don't trust things. They don't want to get used to taking a ride to the store that is going to stop in a few weeks, or someone's not going to, they're going to lose interest, or the program will end if that's how. And they also need to hear from other people that it works well, that it's not very intrusive, that you're able to get your groceries, stuff like that. So once I got word out that I was doing a good job, and then I changed the signage on the van to say grocery shuttle in big letters, because on the church bus van it said like opportunity in motion, which is a great sentiment, but nobody knew what that van was for. So by putting grocery shuttle on, they're like, oh, we have a grocery shuttle service? Yes, we do. Give us a call. So we've got a few people, just because they saw us going through the neighborhood and dropping off neighbors.
Fabulous.
A few people, when their car breaks down, they'll get a hold of us because like, hey, my car broke down, it'll be out of the shop, but can you take me to the store next week? And we've done that too. So that's kind of, it's really nice. It keeps an inconvenience from turning into like something that's devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate hearing from you in person, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate your time.
Of course.
Thank you.
Hopefully that was much more painless than you were
Yeah, I'm gonna shake out the nerves.
envisioning.
That was painless altogether. Oh.
There you go. All right, thanks. Eddie, you can come on back in whenever you're ready. I know we're a little bit early for you, but do you want to? You feeling good about going early? All right, we're cruising through. Yes, exactly. Well, come on up and have a seat and join us. So let's see.
Well, my book is connected to my keys. There we go.
Little tangle there.
Yeah. I do everything on pen and paper. I think it's always going to be that way.
You know what? I carry a notebook around too, and I often go back to it.
Okay.
Well, welcome. Thank you for coming in. So I've
Thank you for
been
having
kind of explaining off and on throughout the night that we just invited a handful to come back rather than doing the typical like long night of presentations. There were just some applications that we had follow-up questions to, that some we sent out with a quick email because we were like, it's a quick answer, they don't need to come in. But then others we were like, we want to give you the opportunity to maybe explain it a little bit better than maybe an email could, right?
For sure. I think
yeah.
this is really good, especially for the second question.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. So I don't know if you just want to go ahead and dive right in, if you want us to ask you the questions, or...
Well, in my first paragraph it says that, so.
Beautiful. All right, take it away.
Hello, my name is Katie Norris. I'm the founder and executive director of Hotels for Homeless, also known as Hotels for Hope and H for H. First of all, I want to thank everybody in the room. I kind of thought it would be like before, so I wanted to thank all the other people too. So thank you all people who are not here. You guys rock, doing great things. We'll put that out into the universe.
Exactly.
See if they feel that wherever they're at on their way home.
They will.
So I want to make sure that I answer all the questions that the Jack Hopkins Committee has about this project and our program. So please feel free to stop me at any time and for questions or clarification. I'm not going to be offended if someone's like, hey, hold on, Okay, so we were asked what amount of the residents served by this project will be Bloomington residents. The answer is all of them, 100%. We do provide services to people who are not in Bloomington or not Bloomington residents, but all of those served by this project will be Bloomington residents. We were asked if we are abiding by the Heading Home Plan. The answer is absolutely yes. and I will elaborate on that here in a little bit. We were asked if we are collaborating with agencies who are abiding by the Heading Home Plan, and if so, who? Yes, we are collaborating with agencies who are abiding by the Heading Home Plan. I am not personally aware of all of the other agencies abiding by this plan, but I will elaborate on who we are collaborating with currently. And we are always open to making new connections with other agencies. I believe the more that we work together, the more we can help. So I have personally collaborated with 8 individual Heading Home employees on a variety of things. We've taken multiple referrals and provided shelter from Heading Home outreach workers. We have referred almost all, if not all, of our clients to Heading Home caseworkers, depending on which one is the best fit for the family or individuals. For example, some of our clients we provide casework for, but we do not provide hotel services for. So they just need referred to, like Sarah, who does the prevention to get their rent paid. Some of our clients need referred to Rebecca at New Hope for help with application fees and bus tickets, but same thing, we've already referred them to New Hope. They don't, or they are still at their house just waiting to get like evicted or something like that. So they just go to her. And then others need street outreach through like Mandy. And then the other ones, I've not really referred anybody to them, but they refer a lot of people to me. Mostly I think it's because they're doing outreach. So it might just be because they're with the people, so they refer them to me, but I'm not really sure why I would refer them to them. But if there's a reason that I should, then I'm happy to. Other agencies that we collaborate with are Department of Child Services, Bloomington Police Department. I just wrote down ones we took referrals from for like the last couple months, so if I miss somebody, I'm sorry. Bloomington Police Department, Department of Child Services, the Stride Center, Probation, Parole, Public Defender's Office, Friends Place, Wheeler Mission, Indiana Coalition for Women Against Domestic Violence, Middleway House, the Shalom Center, Community Kitchen, Pantry 279, Bloomington Fire Department, Banneker Center, Monroe County School Corporation, Boys and Girls Club, My Sister's Closet, Indiana Recovery Alliance, Tandem, Healing Hands, Ireland Home Based Services, Bloomington Severe Emergency Winter Shelter, clearly, Centerstone, New Leaf New Life, Hannah House, South Central Community Action Program, Perry Township Trustee, Bloomington Township Trustee, HealthNet, Humane Association, Oxford House, Malibu House, Amethyst House, Bloomington Hospital, Area 10 Aging, St. Vincent de Paul, and a variety of other churches and patient substance use treatments facilities. It's a mouthful, sorry. I assume most of them are also on that plan, but I don't know because I don't ask them. But, we were asked, this is the one that was important, I think, for me to comment. Why are you requesting funding per person over funding per hotel room? The answer to this question is, we are not. I believe that there was a misunderstanding when our application was read. Our application reads verbatim, $18,000 will be used for 225 emergency shelter stays for up to 75 people. The price we pay for a hotel room with one bed in it is $80. 18,000 divided by 80 is 225. That's how I came up with that number. 225 divided by 75 is 3. So this means that if we had $18,000, we would be able to provide an absolute bare minimum of 75 people with 3 nights of shelter. The reason I use those numbers is because I know for a fact that with that amount of money, I can provide that amount of people with that amount of shelter. However, as in past years, I plan to do my very best to blow your minds with just how many more people we can provide shelter with more shelter with those funds provided to us. I don't want to give numbers because I want to be able to say, hey, I'm going to do this with this amount. I'm going to come back, and no matter what happens, end of the world, we never help one family, we only help individuals, and we only use one type of room. We've helped that many people. Does that make sense? We're going to help a lot more people than that, and we're going to provide more shelters, but I can't give you numbers because then what if I can't? You know what I'm saying? Everything changes every day. It's one day you have a family of 8, the next day you have a family of 6, the next day you have a family of 3. So I can predict that amount for that many people for that night. Good.
So just to clarify, sorry.
Mhm.
So those 75 people, maybe they come with a family of 4, you're saying, right?
Absolutely.
That's what you mean by the 75 people.
Absolutely.
And then in parentheses, possibly in their families.
So, I mean 75 individual human beings.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And then, okay, not plus their families, but 75.
75.
Their families are included in that 75.
Yeah, so if we
Okay.
have a mom, a dad, a daughter, and a son,
Right,
that's 4.
That's 4.
Yeah.
75 minus 4 equals, then you're left with 69 left.
Yep.
Got it, okay.
Yep.
Okay, 70, oh my gosh, my math is so bad, 71.
For example, we can put 2 people in a room for $80 if they share a bed. We can put up to 4 people in a room with 2 beds for only $15 more. We also are currently working with 6 Airbnb locations. We have 2 3-bedroom houses, 2 2-bedroom houses, and 2 1-bedroom apartment condo things. Both of those have a pull-out couch. Some accept pets and some are handicap accessible. All of them are significantly less expensive than a hotel room with 1 bed. We also own a, do you guys want to know prices for these? Does that matter? I almost wrote that out, but I was like, I don't want to waste their time.
I don't think,
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't think so either. Okay.
Thank you.
We also own a camper that sleeps up to 5 with electricity, heat, AC, microwave, and mini fridge. We are able to park it at state parks for also less than the hotel room, where those using it for shelter have access to showers, indoor bathrooms, a camp store with necessities. We're able to provide transportation to and from town for medical, legal, and housing appointments. We are also able to drop off food and material support and pick up and drop off laundry. This is a great resource for those in recovery to have everything they need while avoiding people, places, and things that trigger substance abuse disorders and relapse. As for the heading home plan, I don't know if you guys can have this up and looking at it, but I just went one by one. Goal, strategy, objective, all the way through. So, as for the heading home plan goes, we always have and always will follow the housing first strategy. That is the core of what we do. Goal 1, strategy number 1. We relentlessly advocate for those in need in our community, and for objectives 2 and 3, we clearly use hotel rooms, build long-lasting partnerships with hotel owners, Airbnb owners. Campers and RVs are a step towards tiny homes, and our Tommy's Trailers program is just that, as described, affordable alternative housing solutions. We have worked hard to build relationships with multiple mobile home community managers to negotiate deals for those we help to own their own trailer homes, bypass and negotiate barriers including previous evictions, criminal records, and income requirements. Once our clients own their mobile homes, their lot rent and utilities are long-term affordable housing solutions. That's what that is. For strategy number 2, we have already and will continue to convince landlords and property managers to take our clients' housing vouchers and make our own landlord risk mitigation agreements. We have been successful with both of these multiple times with landlords, managements, and clients. We even have a landlord that started taking Section 8 because of us. She then bought a house just to use for Section 8 for us. And we plan to continue to do this on a much larger scale. For strategy 3, we provide intensive individualized casework, including unlimited aftercare for our clients, where we often use early intervention and connect those we serve with a variety of community resources, and even do our own fundraising to prevent evictions for those we have previously successfully housed, and those who seek our services just for that situation. We also personally provide free court advocacy services and have helped with multiple mediation and court cases to prevent or overturn evictions. We also offer that's my favorite thing to do in the whole world, just throwing that out there. We do that for everybody for criminal stuff too. This is the only civil thing I do is the stuff, but we do all criminal stuff. Literally my favorite thing to do. For strategy number 4, we help enroll everyone we serve in Medicaid, and if they don't already have it, and help those who do have it navigate keeping it. We provide coordination and transportation for any and all health services needed and work closely with IU Health and Centerstone. We also provide 24/7, 365 crisis intervention for our clients with mental and physical health conditions. For goal number 2, strategy number 1, we use case management to support rapid rehousing to keep homelessness as brief as possible. We use outreach to prioritize individuals experiencing street homelessness. Strategy 3, we use warm handoffs to and from other agencies. We are literally here today seeking funding for full-time case management services. I'm going to check that one right off. Strategy number 4, we always have and always will prioritize children, those aging out of foster homes, domestic violence, and those suffering from and overcoming substance use disorder. Strategy number 5, we send all of our clients to agencies like Siloam for coordinated entry and assessment, although they do another one with Heading Home all on their own now, which is really cool. I don't know if you guys know that or not. I didn't know that. It was a surprise. Goal number 3. Strategy number 1, we connect our clients with Work One and Search for employment opportunities. We make our own connections with employers in the community to hire our clients. We provide transportation to employment as possible, connect our clients with resources for bus tickets, and are working on Kirk's Cars program to provide stable, reliable transportation of their own. Works great. I've done it personally. We're working it into H4H. Helps a lot when people have their own cars and they can get to their own appointments and do their own things. We connect our clients with Bill Ferry and Amy Kelso to apply for disability. We work with certificate and training programs. We help with job placement. We help find and attain suitable childcare or childcare vouchers. And we use My Sister's Closet, New Leaf, New Life, and Healing Hands for work-appropriate clothing. For strategy number 2, we always have and always will support recently homeless individuals with substance use disorder. We help connect and transport those to detox centers, 28-day programs, PHP aftercare, sober transitional housing, and we use the Stride Center as needed. We provide casework before, during, and after treatment. I think that's from top to bottom how we follow the Heading Home plan. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure we covered it all.
Got it all there. Awesome, thank you. Yeah,
Do you guys have any
very
other questions,
comprehensive.
or did I clear up that second question, which I'm not sure how that one got in there?
Any other questions?
So you were very thorough.
Yes.
Thank you. I tried to go like step by step.
Yeah, I appreciate the detail. That's very helpful. I don't remember the conversation around that other question, so.
It was just, why did we, because in the past years when we've got it, which it helps us so much, so even if we don't get any pennies from you guys, just know, like, you guys have helped our program more than any other, like, single thing. The Trailblazer Award. You guys are, like, touching them. But you guys, because you did it more than 1 year, have helped, you know, more, you guys are our favorite one. So thank you for what you've done in the past, and hopefully what you'll be doing in the future. But in
Thank
the
you.
past, in the past, it was always by hotel room. And then the question was, why is it by person? And the answer was, it's not. I don't know if I just wrote it weird or it just came up, but the answer was, we're not.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for clearing that up. And thank you very much for being here. We're good? No other questions, right? Okay, well, thank you for all that you do. Really appreciate you coming on in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Hey,
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
thanks. Thanks for having me.
All right. So we were just inviting in applicants that either had not applied to us before, just so
Okay.
we could get a little face-to-face, learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing, or if we had questions that were just maybe a little too much for over email, right? Needed
Yep.
some better face-to-face explanation rather than a lot of back and forth over email. So yeah, welcome. Basically, we just really ideally wanted you to try to explain this setup to us a little bit. It's a
Okay.
little bit of a unique application and a unique setup, so we were hoping to
Yeah.
understand it a bit better.
Yep. So I'm Eric Coyne. I'm the chancellor out at Ivy Tech. Thanks. Appreciate it. You guys are here like 8 o'clock. I was on the BZA before, and so very much appreciate what you guys are doing. So thank you. Sam Udak may be running in here shortly. We had like the 8:15, 8:30 slot, so he may be coming in here in a few minutes to help out too.
Speak of the devil.
Oh, there he is. All right, perfect. Sam Udak. We have a food pantry at Ivy Tech, and that essentially is what the request is to help us further that. We have a partnership now with the Hoosier Hills Food Bank, and we're trying to grow. We're seeing much greater need for and use of our food pantry, and so we're trying to grow it and add some refrigeration, add some freezer space, and really just more longer lasting, and that'll allow us to offer some more longer lasting products for our students. About 40% of our students are Bloomington residents, and then the rest come from around the region. The ones that aren't Bloomington residents are going to tend to be online students. So we tend to draw the majority of our in-person students, as you can imagine, would be from pretty close to Monroe, Bloomington, Monroe County, and pretty close. Yeah.
Super. Thank you for explaining that a little more for us.
Yeah.
Did anybody have any other questions?
I could just talk a little bit more. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
I was just interested in just knowing where you procure your items, and when you get your refrigeration, where will you get those refrigerated items from, and who currently funds your operation?
So we currently have a couple refrigeration units already. We just purchased a brand new commercial freezer in February, I believe it was. So the food pantry started out 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, as like a shelf in the student living center, and is now occupied about a 10 by 30 room. So there's a couple refrigeration units that they're similar to like a cooler you'd see in a grocery store or a convenience store, larger commercial ones, and then there's one large commercial freezer. So we're actually able to offer frozen products now. The rest is shelving for dry goods, non-perishables. Last year it absorbed something like 85 to 100 students, and with most of them having dependents. The first semester we had, I think, 85 parents and a total of like 350 people served because they had children in the home. And at this point we're at 1,000 people served with over 335 students. So like the use has exploded as the capacity has exploded, and what has been made clear to us is anytime we add capacity, anytime we add more refrigeration, more shelving, and expand the partnership, it gets used. The need is larger than the supply right now. It's presently being funded, I think, almost exclusively by the Ivy Tech Foundation. I think one of the questions the committee had was, why didn't you use the foundation? We do. The foundation committed something like $12,000 to supporting the food pantry this year. A lot of that went to purchasing that refrigeration and that commercial freezer. That was paid for by something called the Circle of Ivy grant. It's an internal grant funded by a committee of women donors who put together a pool of about $20,000 to $22,000 a year to fund different projects on individual campuses. And then through separate employee and donor funds, the foundation also committed something like $6,500 over the course of the year. So that's all gone toward expanding that. Our partnership with Hoosier Hills is through the Feeding America program that operates through Hoosier Hills. So a lot of the sourcing is now happening through Hoosier Hills Food Bank for produce, dry goods, that kind of thing that they readily have available. We are now registered as a food bank with Hoosier Hills as a community food bank. We're on the Feeding America website as a community food bank. Or we're supposed to be. I don't know if we're there yet, so don't quote that portion. The rest of the sourcing is coming from the same place anybody else commercially buys food. We're trying to work out a way to purchase through like Gordon Food Services, like wholesalers or grocery supply. Otherwise, it's largely coming from Aldi right now, but that's tax. There's no sales tax on that, and there's a bulk discount on a bunch of the different items. So we're trying to make the sourcing more affordable. Hoosier Hills partnership has been a huge deal for that, and over the next 2 years, there's hopefully a move to increasingly affordable sourcing so we can expand the offering for students. And I think that covers all of your questions. Did I catch everything? Good, great.
Awesome. Anybody else have any other
Yeah, I had a question.
follow-up questions?
Yes.
So it seems like there's a potential, and forgive me if this was in the application that I didn't see it, but it seems like there's a great potential to combine this service with service learning with Ivy Tech students working in the program.
That is happening.
That is happening.
That is happening. Right now, the food pantry is open 3 days a week for 8 hours. There's a plan by next year to expand it to at least 5 days a week, and that is going to be staffed not exclusively, but pretty heavily by student learners who are already in those public service education programs or where it's relevant to their field. They're connected through the student life office, so they staff the desk, they help people with whatever intake forms they need to handle, they help folks go through the pantry. There are nutrition plans that come with the Feeding America partnership, so it kind of helps you balance out what you're taking to make sure you have enough of one thing or the other. And students are pretty heavily involved in that as folks come through, and the plan through student success and student life is to expand their involvement in the food pantry over the next couple of years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a question just related to, I know you referenced SB1, the 12% campus reduction
Yeah.
that we're all struggling with across the board. I didn't know, like, how is that impacting your all's, like, functionality specifically? Or is it, like, are you seeing the impacts of that within, like, the food bank? Like, what is that looking like?
So overall, the campus, so the college took about a 10%-ish cut. By the time it got to us, it was probably 7-8% overall. We ended up having we had a reduction in force last spring to make sure we had a balanced budget. So pretty much everything is operating relatively bare bones. This will be the first, I've been there, Friday will be my 3-year anniversary. My first spring, the second spring, this will be my first spring where we don't have a RIF, which is great. And so, the budget is balanced, but the cut last spring was really tough.
Like, trickling down to all the things.
Correct, yeah.
So,
It's one of the things that sort of pushed the pantry into turning towards student volunteers in the first place, but now that's sort of converted into getting students like practical learning experience as they volunteer in the pantry. So it's a hard thing that's been converted into an opportunity, and the functionality for the pantry itself is actually expanding. Yeah.
And then we were just, the foundation and relying on grants.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just kind of grinding it out as we go.
Any possibility of sourcing from local farms?
We'd love to.
Yeah.
We have to figure out a way to make that practicable for them and practicable for us, because right now we don't have refrigerated transportation. We have coolers and smaller refrigeration that fit in the service vans we already have, but part of the requirement with Hoosier Hills and Feeding America is anything perishable, especially meats, proteins that you take out of the food bank have to be loaded into refrigeration. So that's like having mobile refrigeration is part of the long-term funding concern. Folks that are either selling through farmers markets or their local growers, if they can make produce more affordable for us and it's something that they would like to do, we would absolutely love to have that conversation with them.
Yeah, I think it could work. I mean, I realize there's a logistic, it's easier to just go to one source, but maybe if they were to make a delivery and give you the same, match the price with California.
With delivery at a price match, honestly, it would probably be more practical for us. And we're really trying to diversify the food sourcing, because if you have a price increase and you only have one source, it increases your costs across the board. So if you can start to make that a more dynamic source thing, it makes more sense for keeping the pantry going.
See the team come out with the ginormous Aldi bags on their, when they make their run, they got all these carts set up and they got all these big Aldi bags.
Yeah, especially for like baby formula and say like Aldi's really the only option right now. Yeah. We're providing a lot of like postnatal, like early supplies for folks through it.
Interesting.
In the same sort of space,
And they've got to remember to bring their big Aldi bags, because otherwise.
Yeah, the team.
They don't get the bags.
Oh,
when we go out, we get.
Yeah, we've been on the reusable game for a while. Yeah.
Did anybody else have any other follow-up questions? Anything, clarifications?
More just thoughts related to the partnership piece, but we just heard from Tandem earlier that does all of like the postnatal services related to those things, so they might be like a cool partner if they're not partnered already. And then we heard from Sober Mesa Farm earlier as well, and they're very interested in they farm specifically to give away food to the pantries. So definitely recommend reaching out.
Absolutely, thank you.
Who?
Sober Mesa.
Yes.
Oh, Sober
Mesa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Really
Yeah.
appreciate you coming in and
Yeah,
sharing
yeah.
more about the project
Appreciate
and
you
answering our
listening.
questions.
Thanks.
Thank you for all you guys are doing.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thanks for
Yeah,
being here.
And hey, we got you out of here early too.
Yeah, it's terrific. Thanks. Have a great night.
Y'all take care too. Take care.
Hi. Come on in. Come on in. Hi. Are you with my sister's closet?
Yes, we are.
Come on in. We actually are ready early for you if you're ready to go.
Oh, of course we are. We just didn't want to disturb anybody.
Oh,
And,
appreciate that
The
thoughtfulness.
other room that we usually meet in is all dark, and I was panicked a little bit, thinking I'm in the wrong building completely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I want to just make sure that I'm turning off my phone for you guys.
Right here. Okay.
Great. Do you want me to sit here?
Well, welcome. Yeah, have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. So really, we just reached out to a handful of applications that we thought, we had a lot of follow-up questions for several applications.
Sure.
Some of them were like super simple, just a real quick
Straightforward.
email, like yes or no.
Right.
Some of them, we felt we owed you guys the opportunity to maybe give us a little more in-depth answer that might be easier in person rather than over
Sure.
email. So that's
Sure.
why we invited you today.
All right, well, thank you so much. Am I close enough to your microphone for you?
I believe you are.
All right, okay, well, my name is Sandy Keller. I'm the founder and executive director of My Sister's Closet. I've been doing this work as of March 15th for 28 years. And we have had the honor of serving all kinds of vulnerable populations in our community, many of whom are extremely low income, most of them 0 to 30% AMI. The majority of them are women, single-headed households who are raising kids or who would like to be able to be in a situation to get their kids back because in their current circumstances, they cannot do that. So other family members might be raising their children or they might be in foster care. The majority of women that we are working with are trying to find work to be able to sustain their families. They generally have a history of holding down jobs, but they have a commonality of often working seasonal low-end jobs. Many times they are juggling more than one job at the same time and often working 60-plus hours a week to be able to get the same wages that they might be getting if they were getting a higher paid job with benefits. And so our, thought is that we try to be able to put these women into better paying jobs with benefits so that they can not only be better mothers in the way that they are patterning success for their children and allowing them to be in programming that helps them, become better adults and better citizens, but also to be able to have them spend more time with their kids so that they are leading more rewarding lives themselves, so that their story isn't always one that they are struggling with. And before I answer many of your other questions, I just want to say that I have been before this committee many times, and this is the very first time we have been able to say we are asking for money for capital funding for a building of our own. And I am so excited that we get to be able to be here and say this right now. It's really very exciting for us to finally be able to do this. You wanted to, the number of the residents that we serve with this project, we gave the amount of 900 individuals who come in no matter what for services for My Sister's Closet, even if they do not have a voucher. Ones who are coming in with vouchers, last year we had 252 clients come in. We do believe at this new location we will be getting more requests just because of our proximity and, to shared services, partner agencies, because we are, on a bus line and we're just in cross traffic where it will be more visible and it'll be more obvious because of our conspicuousness that we will be there for people. We are going to be setting up the boutique at the current location, which is a self-funding arm of the mission, which pays about 80% of our services. We're hoping at the new location it will be able to do more than that. But we will be building another building right beside this, which will be our client services building. It will have its own entrance for clients, which we do not have right now, which will be very, very important for them to be able to come in with ensuring a certain amount of dignity, that they are being treated with incredible respect. Not that they are not getting that respect now and being treated well when they come in, but they might be coming in when they may have been sleeping outside or they just had something traumatic happen, like they were assaulted, and to walk into a room where women are smiling and chatting and shopping just isn't the right vibe for that. And so we don't want to discourage women from coming in. This is a way for us to mitigate our current circumstances to be able to provide for that. And we're very excited about that. So yes, we will be able to expand and reach more residents with our services. And we feel that the money that we are asking for to pay for our HVAC for this new building will just do nothing but provide 20 to 30 years of comfort for the people inside, and that will allow us to serve people, in a way, again, that is going to help them succeed in the best way possible. Not just the clients we're serving, our staff, our volunteers, and all the residents coming in. We have been had traffic estimates given to us, and while our current location, not with the one lane right now because of the construction, but we believe that 11,000 people come through our doors at my sister's closet. Far more than that drive by at this new location, which is at a cross street of West 2nd and Patterson. We believe that we will possibly see 38,000 come through our doors. And those will be people that will be able to hear about our services. They will be able to hear about all the wonderful things going on in Bloomington and support us with their donations and shopping dollars. And so because of that, we feel that we will be able to expand the number of workshops that we provide for the community and just overall, a higher level of quality of service and a continuum of service. Women come in, they do not come in just for one appointment generally. Usually they come in for a number of appointments beyond their intake and any clothes they might need immediately for an interview that they may possibly have lined up by themselves or a caseworker. If they have very limited education, maybe they don't even have a GED, they left high school because of a pregnancy, because they were very transit as a family, possibly for one reason or another they did not complete high school. We try to move them into other services that can help them with a Core 40, a GED, but we try to concentrate on that Core 40. We want to be able to get them in some type of certification or technical training. College, as we know, isn't for everybody, but we do want them to be more hireable. That is not just presenting yourself in an interview. That is building your resume with job skills, with trainings, and things that make you look like you are more of a candidate for someone to hire. We try very hard to remarket a woman with not just her self-esteem and how she feels about herself and how she feels other people might think of her and whether or not they are judging her. We want to change what that looks like so that we build that up so that she feels extremely good about who she is as a human being. Then we work on the self-confidence so that she feels like she actually is looking at a job and her skill sets and her education are going to be the better match for it. So if given the fact that we might have 20 women or men combined looking for the same job, given their education and experience, the way that we are working with a woman to prepare her to talk about herself professionally, the way that we are sending her out into the world dressed professionally, the way we are teaching her how to look professional on paper, our candidate generally gets hired every single time. There just really isn't competition when one of our clients is going in with competition for somebody else that just simply isn't as prepared. And we feel that that's why after 6 weeks, when they have come to us, they are able to say that they have found a better paying job. And we have had over 4,000 women come through my sister's closet to date, and we're just very, very grateful that they've, trusted us enough to help them through. But they don't need to have continuous service again and again and again. They need some resources. They need some advocacy and mentoring. They need a little bit of help with tools and training. And after that, they're able to be self-sufficient and continue to do better on their own. And so that is our biggest goal with what we see our role in the community and how we are helping over 50 other organizations conversations with their clients. So we have several shared clients, and they are coming from all different types of circumstances imaginable. So many of them, about 50% are coming from some type of addiction where they are trying to move past. They may have possibly been incarcerated at one time, where they have felonies. Many of them are in, as I said before, either in a homeless or near homeless situation because they may have left a situation that was dangerous, maybe domestic violence, maybe they've been displaced. This year, especially, it seems, and last year, we are seeing more women come just because they just can't work hard enough to put food on the table. They're trying, they're working hard, and they are just finding it more and more difficult just to do what they are doing and put food on the table. We had an experience that we talked about through a video at our recent gala in February, which is an example of one of the clients that we helped. She had been working 3 jobs. She had 2 children, married, but her husband was not able to work because he was has some type of a disability. And she just decided that enough is enough. She's been doing this too long, too hard, and she can't do it anymore. She asked for a voucher to My Sister's Closet and went from $15.85 an hour to $26 an hour. She has recently reported her second raise to us, and she was supposed to be at our dinner theater event talking about her experience, but they had asked her to go take over an office in Indianapolis, so she spent that weekend moving and gave her regrets. But we're just, very proud of her, and she is an example that we hear, a lot. We have a wonderful job because we see people at their worst, but we also get to see them at their best when they are celebrating their success and they're sharing it. And so I would love to answer any questions about why we need an HVAC system, but I think that might be obvious. It's a building that's 22 years old, and the HVAC is actually for commercial purposes. And so we have a small office in the center, and then on each side, there are 2 very large, very cold, drafty garage bays. And it does have forced heat coming in, but it's not set up for comfort. It's set for the garage doors to be up quite a bit. And that doesn't work out really well for what we want to have in mind. Yeah, do you have any questions at all? We'd be so grateful for anything that you could do. We have told you we were doing certain fundraisers, and we have been doing them. We just finished our dinner theater event, which was celebrating the works of Maya Angelou. It was just a wonderful, successful event. Our 3 VIP women were Valerie Houghton-Motley, we had Sylvia McNair, and we had Liz Mitchell. They're just slouches. All of them were just horrible up there. But they were just really funny, and everybody loved to be around them. And we just had several. That was one of our community collaborations between the Bloomington Symphony Orchestra and My Sister's Closet. We've got another collaboration May 22nd and 23rd at Sycamore Farms, and that is with Garnish Catering in town, who is helping us do a fine jewelry event, and we will be just showing off all their wonderful drink mixes and their fabulous hors d'oeuvres. And of course, we will be trying to sell jewelry at My Sister's Closet and make that a lot of fun. And we've got other ones that we're trying to get through the door. But we are not giving up. We're going to wear people out with fundraising and and try to get them to help us.
A lot of work.
It is, but it's good. Everybody asks what we're going to do if our lease ends July 7th. That is on everybody's mind. We only have about 3, 4, 5 different media people ask for interviews a week. Everybody seems to want to know what's going on. we, as well as several community members that seem very concerned, and partner agencies wondering if their vouchers are going to be good. I just want to ensure you that we are working very hard with community partners that have helped us in the past, like Norman Deckard. He reached out to us yesterday. We are talking to Simon Mall about some of the spaces that they've got out there, and they might possibly be able to help us out in a bigger way than what we imagined. We are have a GoFundMe page up that will be on our website and on the internet very soon, asking people to help us with a pop-up sale, the things to structure that at the new building so we could raise up those garage doors during the summer, and we will just try to bring in sales to pay for the mortgage and get people used to coming to that building, and that will also give us an opportunity to give them tours and to show them plans of what the building's use is going to look like. We're just very excited. We're just very, very excited, and it is. It is for us. We've been waiting a long time to be able to say that we're doing this.
Well, congrats on that.
Thank you.
I hope it all goes well. Fingers
Thank you.
crossed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. You guys have a lot going on. You definitely, you definitely do. Any questions?
I'm just curious, due to the nature of the building or timing or whatever, were you able to apply for the solar energy efficiency lighting grants through the city of Bloomington, the SEAL grants?
I know those were put in front of me. I don't know that we did.
Okay, I'm just curious.
When were they due? We should have applied for those.
I think the application for the energy audit was about a month ago. I'm not sure where it's at. SCAP applied for a SEAL grant.
No,
so,
that is.
yeah.
We should have applied for those.
It's a $10,000 match. So if it's still available, it's something to
Yes.
look at. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll definitely look into that. Thank you.
Are you using a local contractor to do the HVAC?
Yes. Yes.
Bloomington and Monroe County?
Yes, that will be our objective. And we want to be able to share any work possible within the Bloomington community with Bloomington residents. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Last chance.
I just have one quick. The motivation, the primary motivation to get a building, get a space, was it more the idea of the independence of having your own space? Or did you crunch the numbers and find that you'd be able to put more back in terms of what you bring in terms of funding, into services by having your own space as compared to paying a lease? Or did you run the numbers and come up with something? Or is it just
Absolutely,
the idea?
absolutely, all those things actually, because rental prices are getting higher, they are not getting lower. I'm a landlord myself. If I own my building and I do not have a mortgage, then I am going to be able to control that part of our sustainability as an organization. And we have all these people who are contractors that already step up and maintain our current leased building for us that is not in our lease. So our pest control and our lawn care and we're finding a trash control person if anyone's listening. But we have different people who routinely help us out with different things. And we're able to levy that along with the fact that we would no longer have to pay a lease. Right now, the current lease that we've got is $52,000 a year. The mortgage is higher than that, but if we're able to get that mortgage paid off, then we're able to pay for someone to replace me, or have a store manager or someone who does client services, full-time, that we are able to keep them going, almost like you would expect to pay have the interest of an endowment. Take care of something without having to pay for that. Absolutely, it is a huge win for us. It's a very good question. But we know that because of the way this is located, we're just going to be able to be seen more, especially as you go west of town, west of downtown. We're going to be able to be around populations with our demographics that are more likely going to be able to use us, that are going to have a need for us. And I believe we're just going to be able to help more women. And not necessarily just women. Men come in too sometimes, but it's, we really want to be able to serve as many, people as we can. If we are able to design the space the way that we envision, then we can certainly have more training on site, and not just for the women, but we do a lot of mentoring with kids, and and kids are a big part of the programming at My Sister's Closet for women who are clients and women who are wanting to create some type of an opportunity for their kids to build a resume. We have a mother-daughter mentoring program where you come in for like $2 with your daughter at a time, and you're working together, and you're both earning, that credibility and that reliability and that, professionalness that you're wanting to have, that you understand, but you are also earning buying points at My Sister's Closet. So the kids and the moms really like that. We know how to, pull people in a little bit. But you had actually 3 questions. You asked about whether or not this would help us serve more people, whether or not this would make us more sustainable as an organization. But there was something else that you had mentioned, correct?
I wondered if it was more just the idea that a person might have for having their own space they control, regardless of whether in the long run the economics are significantly different. And I was wondering if
I think they will be.
They will.
I really do believe they will be, because we just have wonderful people in this community who offer to mow lawns or pick up trash or just, be there for us because they think that we possibly need it. And they're doing that for us at our current location. They've already made overtures saying they're going to do it for us at our next location. Our current lease, they only take care of HVAC. We are already taking care of electrical needs and, landscaping and stuff like that. So I don't feel like we don't have the capacity to do this on our own. I think we're surrounded by people that know how to do this, and they believe in what we're doing, and they're there to help.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We
Of
really
course.
appreciate it. Thank you for answering our questions and for everything that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, guys. All right.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. And that was our last group to hear from for tonight. So I officially call this meeting to an end.